That we're here in Windrush Square in some senses to celebrate the massive contributions that African Caribbean people have made to this country since the symbolic arrival of that ship. And it's the 70th anniversary this year, but there are two other quite important anniversaries, I think, this year that tell the story of what's happened recently. The first is that it's also the 70th anniversary of the founding of the NHS. Exactly, that institution that most British people love and that my mother came from Barbados to staff, as so many Caribbean people came to staff, and it's symbolic that those two anniversaries chime because black people built this place. Not alone, with white people and Asian people and other people, but we are integral to this country. You can't understand this country's history, this country's wealth, its public services, its trains, its sport, its music without us. You try and unpick us from the fabric and the whole thing falls apart. We are central to this country. We built this country, and that's one of the things that is so disgusting when we see the way that these people have been treated. But it's also the 50th anniversary, of Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood speech. And when we see the Daily Mail and the Telegraph and all the others say how shocked and outraged they are that the Windrush generation should be treated in this way, we have to remember that the Windrush generation weren't always loved, and that the fact that they're loved now isn't about the innate genius of British fair play and decency. That we have come to this point where even the most right-wing of commentators and individuals who will breathe fire about immigrants generally have come to say, well, these people are different, is because we fought for it. We all fought for it, black and white and Asian, fought to make that possible. Even as they told us it would never be possible, that you would never be British, that you will never be equal. And we didn't listen. We continued, and here we are. And that's why when we see people who have been here so long, who have given so much, who have built families and built communities and paid taxes, when we see those people being told you're not British, it hurts deep, because there's an element of this society that has always tried to deny, if not our existence, then of course our contribution. But as this government flounders to explain how we got to this point, let us not be hoodwinked with the notion that this was a mistake. It was not a mistake. This was not a glitch in the system. This was the system. If anything, the problem wasn't that they were being incompetent, it was that they were being too competent, that they were following the letter of the law. That Theresa May said, let's have a hostile environment policy. Not a rigorous policy, not a stringent policy, certainly not a nurturing or humane or sympathetic policy, a hostile policy. And this is what hostility looks like, where people who have been here for decades are told to prove that they are a citizen, that they are guilty of being illegal until they can prove otherwise. And the reason we shouldn't be palmed off with this is because there is a concern, I have a concern, that the Windrush generation, this new national treasure, who knew that we'd be up there with the Queen Mum and, you know, a whole load of dames as a new national treasure, that we will be separated as being the worthy immigrants. Which suggests that there are unworthy immigrants for whom this hostility is okay. But what Theresa May is effectively saying is the hostility was not meant for you, it was meant for them. Well, I don't want to live in a country that is hostile to immigrants. I don't want to live in a country that is hostile to refugees, even when they're not my own family, even when they couldn't be me. And you have to wonder, The Guardian has been running these stories for about 5 months. There's nothing new has happened in the last 5 months, apart from, and this is the mistake they made, the mistake that they made was thinking that a group of elderly Caribbean-born people could touch the conscience of a nation and mobilize people and mobilize their anger in a way that would make them step down in a way that they had. That's the mistake that they made. That they messed with our parents, they messed with the Windrush generation, and the empire fought back. And so I think it's important, as they flounder, as they express these very narrowly tailored regrets and apologies and move as fast as they can to deal with the paperwork, that we understand how we got here. Because we got here because they thought they could get away with it. They got here because for almost as long as the Windrush generation has been here, no official, no government person, none of these people who curate the kind of public narrative have wanted to stand up for immigration or immigrants. And so it was going to be okay to pick on a few people that they thought nobody cared about. And particularly after the crisis, to blame the immigrants for the crisis. But we know that it wasn't Syrian refugees who traded in default swaps and crashed the economy. We know it wasn't the Roma that stiffed the country. We know that it wasn't asylum seekers that were bailed out to the tune of billions of public money. We know on whose door this crisis sits.
And he's still there.
And he's still there. And this country, actually, in a sense, this world operates according to the golden rule, and that's that those that have the gold make the rules. And so, money has more power than people. You can flick a switch and you can send billions of dollars anywhere in the world. Nobody's going to ask it for paperwork. Nobody's going to say, is this money going to put anybody out of work? Is this money going to build houses? Is this money going to take education? Nobody's going to ask that about money or machines. But if a human being wants to move from one place to another, to feed their family, to reunite with their family, to grieve their family, to find work, that's when the paperwork kicks in. That's when the border guards start showing up. These people, the Windrush generation, they didn't violate any laws. The law violated them. They didn't do anything wrong to the immigration system. The immigration system did something wrong to them. And so we stand, first of all, in solidarity with them, of course, and we hold them up for the contributions that they made that were never honoured at the time and are now celebrated nostalgically, sepia tone. Look at them come off the boat with the crinoline, their children so nicely dressed, singing their nice songs. This is what built Britain. But at the time they didn't. So we celebrate them now, but that we also make sure that nobody is under any illusion or delusion that this stops with them. That this is about the kind of country we want to be, the kind of people that we want to be, and the kind of humanity that we want to embrace. If they build a 50-foot wall, I will be the first to build a 51-foot ladder and help anybody who wants to climb over that wall come over so they can feed their family and so they can find work. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen.